welcome in or welcome back. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for returning. And if you're new here, welcome. So this reading is for the sign of True Sky Taurus for the month of August. And we are already a little bit into the month, so sorry about the late reading. So this month August is the eclipse season. Well, one of them. It's the second one of the year, the last one of the year. So there is on the 12th of August this year a total solar eclipse and new moon in True Sky Leo. And the core themes around this are releasing pride, stopping the need for constant external applause, and resetting your core creative identity. And then around the 27th to the 28th of August is a partial lunar eclipse and a full moon in True Sky Aquarius. So the themes around that polarity of the full moon are tension point between individual self-expression and collective responsibility, group belonging versus individual sovereignty. So it's going to be an interesting month. Some would say quite karmic or dharmic energies with the eclipses. And because these signs are fixed signs, they could be challenging or squaring your Taurus placement or placements. So at the moment, we do have a grand trine occurring between Venus in Virgo, Uranus in Taurus, and Pluto in Capricorn. So obviously your sign is involved in this. So in that sense that yes, the eclipse may be challenging for you, Taurus, but this grand trine could involve you directly because Uranus is in your sign, which will be in there for some years to come. But at this specific time, this grand trine is occurring. So this month could be quite a good month for you in ways as well. There's like a softer energy there with the grand trine. And there's also some sextiles involved as well, and also an opposition with Venus and Neptune. And that Neptune could be sextiling your Taurus placements. Then we also do have Mercury in True Sky Cancer, which could be sextiling your Taurus placement or placements. And we also have Mars in Gemini. So that wouldn't really be, depending on what else you've got going on in your chart. But with Taurus, Gemini is just a neighboring sign. So the first deck that I have here is the Tarot of the Sorceress. And on the bottom of the deck for you, Taurus, we actually have the Four of Fire, which is like your Four of Wands card. So you may find that some underlying energies this month have a lot to do with home, family, stability, but also there could even be like some kind of reunion in your family or something like that. The first card we have for you is the Seven of Air, which can bring elements of dishonesty and slyness, and also some kind of concealment, some a little bit tricky kind of energy, a bit of cunning energy, which is interesting. As it is your first card here, and I was kind of saying that with the eclipse there could be some challenging energy, so it's interesting a challenging card did come up first here. Then you have for your crowning card for the month the Six of Water. So this card is more so linked to very nostalgic memories and often from your, early life or a past life. It doesn't have to be an actual past life, but a past life that you've lived, depending on where you are in your life. But definitely having this as your crowning card, I think you could even be getting like either dreams, whether they're daydreams or night dreams, kind of coming in, and maybe memories or insights about past experiences coming in for you this month. And then you have the 8 of Air as well. So the top 3 cards here are your crowning and your third eye and your throat chakra cards. So the 8 of Air has energies around self-limitation and even a feeling of being paralyzed. So having it with that 6 of Water, it could even be that these memories that are coming in could be giving you that feeling as well here, or contributing towards it. The next card we have here, the next card we have for you is the 5 of Air. So the middle row is more your throat chakra, air and energies, your heart and solar plexus. So with the 5 of Air, it does have the energies of like some kind of dishonesty going on here. And there's even a potential treason and potentially even brash actions going on here. So linking that card with that trickery card ahead above it is a bit concerning. I'm not sure how this is happening because I don't see any character cards, so I can't really point to exactly how this is happening. But there are so many air cards here for you this month. And I do find that quite interesting. I'm not saying that if this is someone in your life, that they're of an air sign, because it could be something on that mental or intellectual plane as well. But then you do have down here at the bottom corner, you do have the Tower. So the Tower is associated with Uranus, the card, and it has that kind of, upheaval energy. It's a dramatic change, like a catalytic event, even quite revolutionary type of energy. And it is in your sign at the moment, Taurus. So I do think these energies are going to be rather significant while it's in your sign. It can even bring like a real awakening experience, or even on some levels a kind of almost enlightenment, because it's very quick and very bright, and it's of that air, but it's almost like electric kind of energy. So I think that's what's happening here. We have that 7 of Air with the 5 of Air, so it's that trickery and the deceit, that dishonesty and maybe like brash actions going on, but then we have this huge change. So you've kind of figured out something's not working, something is really not obviously going to, because there's this really big dramatic change occurring for you this month. Then your central card here is that 6 of Air. The 6 of Air is a lot more active and also encouraging. So it does suggest that you are leaving a difficult situation, and that you're also making progress in this, and that you are resisting these past energies, that trickery and the deceit energies. You're actually moving on from these negative energies here. And that this dramatic change is also linked in with that confined feeling as well, that self-limiting energy. So then you have the 4 of Water, which does have the energies of boredom and stagnation and also withdrawal. So it sounds to me like this month is going to be quite a healing month for you, where maybe even past traumas come up with this 6 of Water. So this sentimental energy from the past coming in, but then you're having these realizations about how that really was for you actually, and how you have actually gotten through it though, so but potentially you're also just quite, you're quite bored with it all. You really just want something else. You're sick of this energy. Then your base card here, so the base of the matter, maybe you can see, I'm not sure, are the Five of Earth. So the Five of Earth is like your Five of Pentacles, and it does suggest that you may experience some type of scarcity this month, some type of like poverty, like not having enough. It could be like a big bill comes in, or, you know, something happens that's out of the ordinary. And especially because we do have this Tower card here, which is all about that, something that just comes out of the blue. You know, this tower is been struck, and there's fire and, you know, chaos, and it's actually led to this, where you're feeling quite alone and really not in a good place. The advice for this card, however, is to, you know, look to the greater society around you. You know, if you can, if you have that village around you to support you, really seek that support at this time, because that is definitely suggested here, and having that as that base energy it's so important. Then you have this Queen of Water. This is your last card for this deck for the month. So this person who could be maybe of some support, maybe of the water signs, or significant placements in water houses, or the water ruling planets, you know, significantly placed in their chart. And they could be quite a caring, emotionally, you know, compassionate, empathic type of individual that you may be able to seek some kind of help from, even if it is just on an emotional level, just to be able to kind of unburden yourself. So that is the main deck. The next deck I have for you is the Under the Oak Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck you have the Hermit. So the initial underlying energies of that Four of Fire, we now have confirmed with the Hermit energies. So yes, there's some energies this month around home and family and stability. And this is the shadow energies of the deck too. So it might not be manifest. It might be something that's kind of, you know, lurking in the shadows, not expressed. But then you also have this Hermit energy. So you definitely need to spend some time alone this month as well. Even though you might need to seek help from others, and you might really need to maybe confide in someone that is understanding, or that can help you in some way. You definitely need to spend some time in some kind of deep thought and contemplation. If you can, like meditate, or even go for a walk, whatever it is that helps you to be calm and think clearly. Exercise I do find is good, but yeah, also meditating. I even find personally, but then I do have a bit of Virgo in my chart. Sometimes I find cleaning actually very therapeutic. I seem to kind of, as I'm cleaning, my thoughts seem to kind of adjust themselves somehow into some, and I'm not sure if that is a Virgo. I do have Mercury in Aquarius too, so maybe it could be that combination. But whatever it is that you find, maybe it's having a bath or going to bed a bit earlier, but yeah, definitely you need to spend some time on your own in deep thought, because you'll find the answers just come to you from within. Then, to clarify that Seven of Air, you have the Wheel, which is quite interesting because we do currently, so the wheel is linked to the planet Jupiter, and we do currently have Jupiter in true sky Cancer, which could be sextiling your Taurian placements. And like I was saying with that shadow energy about the home and the family, here having Jupiter in Cancer basically has those energies as well. So it's all about the positive side of family and mothers and mothering and nourishment and those kind of energies that Jupiter is really expressing at the moment. And because this energy was all about the trickery and the deceit, so that dishonesty and slyness and even concealment, my goodness, is clarified by this sense of good luck with the wheel. You know, the wheel turning in your favor. There's like a heavenly, almost like a gift, really, there. So I'm not telling you to be dishonest and sly or to conceal things.
I don't even know where the book is.
The suggestion is that you may be able to gain advantage by picking the lucky shoots. But you can also have that victim sense of a false promise involved here. So I think that having the wheel involved definitely kind of more encourages you towards the lucky end of that spectrum. But I do feel that there's a warning there, that, you know, that sense of the victim and that false promise. So just be aware of what you're doing. I think that's the key here. And then for the Six of Water, you have the Two of Wands. So that is a lot more positive energy too to add to that Six of Water. The Two of Wands is quite a positive card. It does indicate, you know, once again, more action, more active activity, and even potentially going out into the world as well. So there could even be some kind of travel involved. Like maybe you might even go to a past place, like maybe when that was from your early life or from some kind of past life, and it may even trigger some memories for you. Some say this card does have a link to the twin flame energy. So potentially this could be an energy that you're reminiscing about, if this is a journey that you've been on at all. Or you may even find that there's someone else that you are reminiscing with this month. And it's quite a passionate reminiscence as well. Then for the Eight of Air, so this was that energy of the self-limitation and that feeling paralyzed. You have the Magician to clarify. So that's a really positive clarifier as well. To me, it's definitely saying that even though she's blindfolded here, that you will be involved in some kind of manifesting abilities, power, you know, structure. There's something going on here. And maybe that's even why you are feeling quite limited and paralyzed, because maybe you're even putting a lot of your energy into this. So it's really kind of draining you on other levels as well. Then for the Five of Air, and that was the card, that dishonesty energy, the potential treason, and also the brash actions. You've actually got the Four of Wands again. So you did have that Four of Fire on the bottom of the first deck. And now you have this Four of Wands, but to clarify, this Five of Air. So there's some energy linking this dishonesty and this, you know, sense of treason and brash action to your home and family, and even some kind of sense of security as well. And then for the Six of Air, your central card, which was actually about, you know, moving on to calmer waters, you have the Six of Fire, the Six of Wands, sorry, the Six of Fire. This is the Six of Wands. And this really does celebrate that. There's a real celebration and a victory around the fact that you have traversed these harsh waters and you are actually passing on to much better times ahead. And others can see that, and they're also celebrating with you as well. Then for that Four of Water, which was that sense of, you know, boredom and not being very satisfied with things on some level, you have the Four of Swords to clarify, which does suggest that you definitely will need to spend some time this month really resting and restoring your nervous system. So even if it is, you know, getting a bit of extra sleep, or, you know, in some way really trying to, you know, knuckle down and get some self-care here, because this sense of boredom and dissatisfaction may even be, it could even be like a bit of depression, or, you know, just not, you know, losing that lack of interest in life and things is not a good sign generally, you know. So by spending this time to nourish yourself, I think you'll start feeling a lot better on those levels as well. Then for the Tower, oh my goodness, we have the Queen of Cups, which we had the Queen of Water earlier. So once again, we have this Queen of Cups figure, but this time it's to clarify the Tower. So maybe this Queen of Cups, which could be different to the other one, but they are both flanking your Five of Earth here. This Queen of Cups is going through the Tower. Well, it's connected to the Tower. It could be you. It could be you actually reaching a point of maturity on a feminine type of level. So an empathic, caring, compassionate level. But also really experience this drastic change.Maybe it's even that the change is making you more empathic and compassionate about others' struggles because of something that you're going through. Then for the Five of Earth, you have the Ace of Swords to clarify. So the Ace of Swords is like that sword of truth potentially coming in. It's a new cycle on the mental and intellectual level. And that Five of Earth was all about that lack of, resources, potential, poverty and scarcity. So I think this situation is going to actually feed your mind on some level, and you will find that you'll have a lot of new ideas coming in about this situation. And potentially even you might end up helping others because you might discover something quite significant because it has that sort of truth kind of energy there. Then for that Queen of Water, which is that last card that you had, you have the Five of Wands to clarify. So the Five of Wands is a card that's more connected with conflicts. And here with that Queen of Water, it could even suggest that you may even have some kind of disagreement or conflict with someone that is like a Queen of Water in your life. The next cards I have to clarify are the Shaman's Oracle. On the bottom of the deck, you have the Hunter of Paths. So the Hunter of Paths energy is around finding the way, looking for ways to reach your goals, progressing wisely, being mindful of wrong turnings, discovering shortcuts, making decisions, and discernment. So that's the shadow energy of that deck for you for the month. The crowning card you have is the Spirit of Nurture. So that's for that Six of Water with the Two of Wands. And you have the Spirit of Empowerment for your heart card, your central heart of the matter. Six of Air with the Six of Wands and the Spirit of Empowerment. And your base of the matter, you have the Journeyer. Okay, so the Five of Earth with the Ace of Swords. So for the crowning card, which is that Spirit of Nurture, the energies around this card are shelter, foundation, ancestral strength, restoration in time of trial, renewal, help in time of need, support, strength, nourishment of body, mind, and spirit. Wow, that is lovely. I mean, some of those energies are repeating. We had that Four of Fire and the Four of Wands doubled, which is all about, shelter, foundation, even ancestral strength. And even the help in time of need. I was seeing that with that Queen of Water and the Five of Earth. And with the nourishment of the body, mind, and soul, I was really feeling that was, the Four of Swords and the Four of Water. And your central card is the Spirit of Empowerment. And its energies are around feelings of strength, positive energy, life-giving force, heightened awareness, belief in the self-restored, enlightenment, a sense of becoming, and being true to yourself. So that's for that Six of Air with the Six of Wands. So lovely. So I'm getting the feeling that this one's kind of saying all those things are there because you have been through this hard time, you know. And then for the base, you have the journeyer. So the journeyer is linked to the spirit world. I am the journeyer. I accompany you on every journey you'll take in search of answers. I fly into the realm of spirit and encounter the beings who dwell there, the ancestors of all people and the guardians of our inherited wisdom and knowledge. I am the one who conducts you between the worlds, through the caves of inspiration, taking you on journeys to find guidance for all that you seek. Often I am silent, but when requested, I can bring my wide knowledge of journeying to bear on your question. Wow. And then that was so interesting because it here with that 5 of earth, but then the Ace of Swords with the journeyer, which the Ace of Swords can have, you know, a message of truth behind it. So, and I really felt like as well with that you were going to kind of discover something that you were going to also help others with. And the fact that we got the journeyer to clarify to me is kind of saying, you know, you've been on this journey, but it's not even just for you. That also the journey is kind of for everyone, isn't it? You know, like we learn things not just for ourselves, you know, because we're part of a whole, part of a community, we're part of a family, we're part of, you know, society, whatever it is. And yeah, I really got that feeling. So the next cards I have for you are the Mists of Avalon Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck you have Taliesin, and that his energies are around poetry, creativity, storytelling, and divination. Your crowning card is Lancelot, whose energies are chivalry, heroism, devotion, and romance. Wow, okay, so there is romance here, and it's linked with the spirit of nurture. Maybe you could even be romancing yourself, you know, treating yourself in a loving way. Then for the central card, you have Igraine, and her energies are around motherhood, acceptance, feminine power, and beauty. And here she is linked with this spirit of empowerment. So it's a really beautiful combination. Obviously, even if you're not a female, you can still connect with these energies. Similar with Lancelot, you know, the masculine and the feminine. So yeah, this came out in reversed, but these cards don't read in reverse. So this is the base of the matter, and it's a blue duet, and her energies are around renewal, freedom, manifestation, and authenticity. Because it came out in reverse, I do feel that there's maybe a bit of a tension with these energies, but I do think it's very, very valuable, and maybe even that is part of this journey as well, is probably heavily linked with them. The next cards I have for you are the Ancestral Oracle of the Celts. And on the bottom of the deck, you have the Seer. So the Seer's energies say, stand out of the way of your rational understanding. Sense, see, and feel the truth for yourself. What images arise? What feedback do you sense? How does the question make you feel? How is reality arising and being shaped by your hopes, fears, and expectations? I envision the truth of the whole pattern for those who dare to ask. Wow. That's really kind of glaringly obvious. I even felt like her eyes in that card were very, wow, I got a sense of sadness then as well. So I feel like maybe there is a real sense of sadness. Maybe you can see the patterns in your life and how that has, you know, manifested. But I do think that it's part of a larger web. It's part of, it's not just you, you know, it's you know, there are larger patterns at work affecting these things. The crowning card for you is the Restorer. Wow. So in the work of restoration, remember the shape and nature of what needs to come back again so that you can receive it gently. If you have erred, then make your peace. Apologize, return what was taken, or bow your head in token of what has passed. I turn the key of time's wheel so that everything can be reborn into eternity. Wow, and that is linked to Lancelot's energies of chivalry, heroism, devotion, and romance. Wow. The central card for you is the Commander. So the Commander. In your hands lies the ability to uphold something of value and worth. Though it may not be valuable in monetary terms, friendships are bound together by honorable exchange. Alliances bridge divides by giving and receiving. I uphold the standard that binds the clan in one bond. Wow, okay. That's so interesting. It's talking about friendships, alliances, and it's also talking about clan, which is, you know, family, even if they're somewhat distant. So we've had that theme of family come up. And I do acknowledge that in that sense there is a real polarity, even division around family, around what family is and isn't. It's, yeah, we're in a really interesting time. Then we have, for the base card here for you, we have the Lady of Law. So what is coming to an end? What new opportunities await you? Where can you let things lie fallow? What potential lies in the seeds of what is passing away? What healing songs nourish and cleanse you? What do your dreams tell you? Who stands beside you, unchanging and true? What roles are being played out here? I bestow the gift of conclusion. You can end things and make beginnings. Wow, the gift of conclusion. You can end things and make beginnings. That's fascinating because we do have that Tower card here, which does signify endings. So yeah, there you go. And this is linked to that authenticity, renewal, freedom, and manifestation with the blue word. The last deck I have for you here is the Moon Witch Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have no, sleep on it. So that's quite interesting. So there's something that you need to say no to and sleep on it. And then your crowning card is trust. The universe has a plan for you. And that's linked to the Restorer. The central card for you is Hecate. Change is important. Release the past. And that's for the Commander. And then on the base of the matter, we have manifestation. What you seek is seeking you. Wow, it's quite a powerful reading. I did feel like it was going to be, especially I think with the eclipse energies here. But yeah, these are the cards that I have for you for the month of August, Taurus. And I hope you have a fantastic month ahead. I'm really hoping that, you know, whatever it is that's going on is resolved well for you. And if you've made it this far and you did get anything out of the reading, or it resonated, even just if part of it resonated in some way, if you could like, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't already, that would be fantastic. And thank you to everyone who already has. I really appreciate all your lovely likes and comments and subscribes. So thank you for helping to grow this channel and help me get the messages out. So take care and have a great month ahead, Taurus. Bye.